Tusco the Brave, a tale of wisdom and strength under the blazing sun of the African savanna. Life was becoming desperate. The rivers had dried to cracked ribbons of earth, the once green grasslands had faded to brittle yellow, and the animals were losing strength. Day after day, they searched for water and food, but the drought had left the land barren. The air was heavy with despair, but amidst the chaos, one figure stood tall and resolute: Tusco, the great elephant with gleaming tusks and wise eyes that seemed to see beyond the horizon. Tusco had seen many seasons, some kind and others harsh, but this drought was unlike anything before. As the animals gathered beneath a fading baobab tree, their fear was evident. Zebras stamped nervously, giraffes craned their necks for leaves that no longer grew, and meerkats whispered anxiously among themselves. A brave young antelope named Zuri stepped forward, her voice quivering. "Tusco, we need your guidance. The rivers are gone, the land is dying, and soon, so will we." Tusco's deep, rumbling voice carried both authority and comfort as he replied, "There is still hope. Beyond the mountains lies a valley where water flows and grass grows green. The journey will be long and perilous, but together, we can make it." The animals murmured, their fear mingling with a faint spark of hope. Tusco continued, "We must trust one another. We must move as one." As the sun dipped below the horizon, the animals prepared to follow Tusco. They knew the journey ahead would test their strength, but Tusco's towering presence filled them with determination. The first leg of the journey took them across the dry valley, a vast expanse of cracked earth that radiated heat like an oven. The ground crumbled beneath their feet, and the air shimmered with mirages. Smaller animals stumbled on the jagged stones, and vultures circled above, waiting for the weak to fall. Tusco, however, was undeterred. His massive feet crushed the stones into softer ground, clearing a path for the smaller creatures. When Zuri faltered, Tusco lifted her gently with his trunk, carrying her until she regained her strength. The group pushed forward, their spirits buoyed by Tusco's strength. But the valley held more than just heat. As they approached a narrow pass, a deep growl echoed through the cliffs. Emerging from the shadows came a pack of wild dogs, their eyes gleaming with hunger. The smaller animals huddled behind Tusco, trembling. Tusco stepped forward, his massive tusks glinting in the fading light. "Leave us in peace," Tusco commanded, his voice like distant thunder. The wild dogs hesitated, their leader growling but not advancing. When one of the younger dogs lunged, Tusco reared up, his enormous silhouette blocking the sun. With a powerful trumpet, he struck the ground, sending a shockwave through the earth. The wild dogs yelped and scattered, disappearing into the distance. The animals let out a collective sigh of relief. Tusco turned to them and said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to stand in its face. We will face more dangers, but together, we are stronger." As the days stretched into weeks, the animals encountered a riverbed that appeared to hold water at first glance, but was thick with sinking mud. Exhausted from the heat, some animals rushed forward, only to find themselves trapped. Tusco acted quickly, using his great strength to pull the smaller animals free, one by one. He fashioned a path of fallen branches and stones, creating a safe crossing. The animals marveled at his ingenuity and worked together to help one another reach the other side. The journey grew harder as they climbed the mountains. The air thinned, and icy winds cut through even the thickest fur. The weaker animals began to lag, their strength waning. Tusco stopped often, nudging them forward with his trunk and sharing his warmth by standing close. Zuri, inspired by Tusco's unwavering determination, began to encourage the younger animals, offering them words of hope. "If Tusco can keep going, so can we," she said, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. As they neared the summit, a storm rolled in, dark clouds swirling ominously. Lightning cracked the sky, and rain lashed against the rocky ground, turning the path into a slick and treacherous slope. A boulder dislodged, tumbling dangerously close to the group. Tusco placed himself between the rock and the animals, using his immense strength to stop it. The group pressed on, each step bringing them closer to the promise of the valley. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the storm cleared, revealing the summit. Below them stretched a breathtaking sight, a lush, green valley with shimmering pools of water, swaying grasses, and trees heavy with fruit. The air was filled with the songs of birds, and the scent of fresh earth and blossoms carried on the wind. The animals let out cries of joy and relief. As they descended into the valley, their spirits lifted. The younger animals frolicked in the cool waters, while others feasted on the abundant vegetation. Tusco stood at the edge of the largest pool, his great frame casting a long shadow. Zuri approached him, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Tusco, you saved us. Without you, we would have been lost." Tusco lowered his head, his wise eyes twinkling. "I did not save you alone. Each of you found strength you did not know you had. Together, we saved one another." The valley became a sanctuary for the animals, a place where unity and hope thrived. Tusco remained their leader, a symbol of courage and wisdom. His name was spoken with reverence across the plains, his story told from generation to generation as a reminder of what could be achieved through bravery, compassion, and the strength of togetherness. Vocabulary words: savanna, a grassy plain in warm regions with few trees. Example: the savanna had turned dry during the drought. Majestic, grand, and impressive. Example: Tusco was a majestic elephant with gleaming tusks. Barren, empty, and lifeless. Example: the barren land made it. Hard to find food and water. Drought, a long period without rain. Example: the drought left the rivers dry and the animals thirsty. Authority, the power to lead or command. Example: Tusco's voice carried authority and kindness. Chasm, a deep gap or gorge. Example: the animals had to cross a dangerous chasm to reach the valley. Unity, being together as one. Example: the animals' unity helped them survive the journey. Reverence, deep respect. Example: the animals spoke Tusco's name with reverence. Strength, physical or emotional power. Example: Tusco used his strength to protect the smaller animals. Fertile, rich, and able to support growth. Example: the fertile valley became the animals' new home.